Hello, I'm Rich Phippen. I am the director of Bunch of Amateurs.
Yeah, hello guys, I'm Marc's former Charlwood manager and in this episode, Kingstonian coach.
So we were just going through the back catalogue of episodes, trying to figure out which ones we should do, and I thought, get Marc to talk about a Dorking episode could be fun, and then realised he's in this one against Dorking, because it's the Surrey Senior Cup final.
Yeah, massive game for Kingstonian. We were kind of really geared up for it. We'd had a lot of preparation and training sessions to work on what we wanted to do. Hayden was really clear and concise of what he wanted to achieve. So, yeah, great little crossover, wasn't it, for me and Mike to be in the other dugout against Marc.
Oh, mate, it was absolutely perfect that we had a cup final episode with you in a dugout against the club that I was currently filming. I mean, that was absolutely perfect.
Just quickly, that young man there that just had his back, he's now gone pro. I think he's at Wickham.
Oh, wow.
His name will come back to me. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but Marc's really relaxed here. Obviously, he had the playoff final, didn't he, coming up? So
this was a crazy week because the whole way through this cup, like a lot of cup competitions, they only become more serious the closer they get to the final. And then, of course, they got to the final, and the final was then scheduled for 3 or 4 days before the playoff
really
final,
for him.
Which is, like the biggest game in their history is coming up on the Saturday, and they're being asked to take a cup that's of very little consequence to them seriously, and players don't want to get injured. They don't want to miss the playoff final. So, but it did give them an opportunity to see where a couple of players were at, to see if they had recovered from injury and that. So there was a silver lining to it, but it was a mad week because everyone was already nervous about what was coming up, and yet for you guys, this was a huge game. It
was a really strange situation. We were taking it really seriously. Basically, last game of the season, knew that what it was. I think the season, it had been extended. I can't remember exactly why. So this was 2 weeks beyond the end of the season, which brought a lot of kind of contractual issues with the players at Kingstonian, because a lot of them, the contracts would have finished. So last game of the season, we knew loads of boys were leaving. It turns out that Hayden ended up leaving Kingstonian as well in the summer after this game. So a massive game, and we were really, really focused. It was our cup final, literally, and for Marc, he, like we said, he was probably more worried about picking up knocks and surviving, getting the squad through, really.
I remember asking Hayden how much I could do with you guys on this, and he was not keen on anything, really. We did pre- and post-match interviews, but I wanted to put microphones on you for the match. He wasn't having it, which I understand, but it wouldn't have affected him in the long term, particularly after he left the club. So it's a bit of a shame that we didn't get to do that.
I think he just didn't, and we didn't want to make it it wasn't about us.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
I think having the mic on, you would have seen a lot of the skills that me and Mike have honed in terms of man management, speaking to the players, especially around, the penalties that are upcoming. We didn't do a lot here in terms of kind of match day coaching and warm-up prep. We were just around the edges, really, which changed massively when I went to casuals at the same level. I had a lot more responsibility, but at Kingstonian it was just about kind of understanding what went on. But there was a lot of man management, got on well with lots of the players that played at Kingstonian. So I think that's what not having the mic probably missed out on a little bit, in this game from our perspective. But obviously it was a brilliant game that went all the way to the wire.
So a lot of this first team talk was about the playoff final.
We don't care about this, basically.
I mean, he says openly, like, I'm not too bothered about this cup. I care about Saturday. So you can see how packed the room is. Everyone is in there, like the whole squad. Everyone's buzzing. Everyone's in the right mood. And he's like trying to get them G'd up for the final, but at the same time, like, look, we're going to spend the first 20 minutes talking about Saturday, because he only gets two training sessions a week to talk to his players, and one of them is turned into a match. So he's got to use it for coaching purposes here. And then you can see now in this shot, 50% of the room is left, because he's done that talk. It's lasted 10, 15 minutes, got rid of them. Now we get on with it.
But it really is a strange situation, because I'm sure, not to speak on Marc's behalf, but having a similar kind of start to me at Charlwood, where Dorking started. You play in all the junior county cup competitions, intermediate cup competitions. For Dorking to be in the senior Surrey Cup final, the highest tier, would have at some point been a real big dream for the club, I'm sure. But obviously he's gone far beyond their expectations. So the playoff game's massive coming up. But weird for us because, Dorking has spent a lot of their time being underdogs, I suppose, going through the ranks. And now in this scenario, we're the kind of, chippy underdog, and they're the high flying club that don't care as much as us. So obviously, Hayden, the manager, and Lee, the assistant, try to use all that as fuel, to give us a bit more fight, going into it. That bloke's name was Declan. I'm thinking it was Shukla or something. I can't remember. But yeah, Declan, the lad I was saying, was a very good centre-back. I believe he's now at Wycombe Wanderers. So good luck to him. Good player. Really good player.
So I remember on this cup final day, like the day wasn't being run by Dorking. It was being run by the Surrey FA because it's their premier competition, and obviously this is their ground and this is where they are based. So I had to wear ID. There's Callum. I had to
sign some players.
I had to wear ID to get in, and I was like, "Don't you know who I am?" And
yeah.
And
I recognise that voice.
Marc had asked me to interview the Surrey FA bods, the 3 or 4.
By the way, there's Teo's at Walton Hersham now.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, saw him the other day.
Sorry, mate.
So he'd asked me to interview these guys to keep them sweet a little bit.
Yeah.
And looking at this episode, and it's been a while since I edited it, it looks like I cut them all out.
So yeah, complete waste of time.
And I did long interviews with each of them. Maybe I did it in the long version on Patreon.
I really want you to interview again. Are those fans that were stood the other side of that fence during COVID that brought their stepladder along, and they all had funny nicknames, didn't they? Billy the Fish and...
Well, it was Darren. We were talking to Marc's mate Darren, and he when he went through that list of names, he's like, there was Cosmo, there was Rodders, went through a whole list of names, and
Jimmy the Hat,
and then he was like, and Brian.
It's just... what a great bunch. You've got to revisit those people. I'd like to see what they do day to day as well, some kind of follow up bit, but interesting.
Yeah, we've seen Darren around every now and then. That lady who she was an odd one. I can't really go into that.
Only coaches will know the pain of lugging that bucket around, by the way, and constantly filling up water bottles and putting ice in that.
That's Mitch's job here.
Yeah,
that's all Mitch.
It's a thankless task, that one. Look at him clinging to it for dear life, like he's going on an EasyJet flight.
There was a pitch I got to. I can't remember where we were last season. We got there, immaculate pitch, and they were like a bit funny about me walking on it to do any camera work, so I'd stay off it. Mitch turned up with that thing, dragged it across, and there were these 2 wheel marks all the way across the pitch, and I felt awful.
Oh yeah,
Mitch just didn't care.
There's Simon Rowe down there, quite a well-known non-league photographer.
The guy Marc's talking to,
I didn't see him.
Oh, I think he was the referee at Hillsborough, something like that.
Wow.
Marc told me. Is it in
For the
this
Hillsborough
episode?
disaster?
Yeah, really nice guy, and he's a head honcho somewhere at the FA or something. I mean, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I may be completely wrong. I think that's what he told me.
One of the minor differences were these boys all had pro zones on. Well, at the time, I think Kingstonian had 5, and we had to rotate around whose data we got for what game. So
for people that don't know, those are the black bra things that the players wear. They've got a little GPS thing in the back, so it makes the players look like they've got a little hunchback when you notice them.
So they'll be getting data all game, and we were rotating it 5 different players each week. So if you didn't have it on, basically as a player, you could take your foot off the gas a little bit. No one was kind of tracking what you were up to. Marc's gone with the short chinos and ankle socks there.
Yeah, it's not a look that I would.
Very summer, isn't it, Marc? Very summer that. I like it though.
Stylistically, we're 2 very different people. Me and Marc, we just both wear trucker caps.
Just different ends of the cap spectrum.
Yeah, he wears his higher than I do.
So anyway, going into the game, we obviously knew everything about Dorking and the shape, and we knew the players may change and who would play and who wouldn't play. I think even jokingly before the game, Marc just said to Hayden, "Here you go, here's my team sheet."
His team sheet, yeah. And then for me, he doesn't do stuff like this for me very often, but he knew I didn't get it on camera, so he did it again.
Yeah.
just so that I could film it.
But what we've done, I mean, Hayden had really worked on a 4-3-3 and really pressing their back three. And it worked really well. We had a guy, Gus So, who's a very good player in midfield, loads of energy. And I think he really pressed Oldacre a lot.
It's one of the few games where I've seen in that season where I saw Dorking's patterns get stumped. I hadn't seen that very often. There was one other manager, I asked him, I said, did you play with high wingers to pin the wing backs back? And he was like, yep, that's exactly what we did. But it's usually they were good enough that even if you tried it, they just pass around it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a perfect storm for us because you had a team worried about, a bit wobbly there, Fit. Had a team worried about
the fuck did that make
just adjusting the rearview mirror. Worried about a game coming up. There's Vern's, great lad. Known Vern's a few years or many years now. Does the same warm up. Done the same warm up for the last 20 years. Like you'll see him every week, guys. Get 3 yellow cones out and run.
Well, Marc pointed out to him the other day that he does his cones at the side of the pitch here, and Marc said to him, "You realise that
it's
traditionally that's only because of the grass, but you're on AstroTurf. You can do it wherever you like."
Yeah.
And he just looked at him and was like, "It just went over his head."
He
like,
just
no,
never.
This is what I do.
I messaged him once. I watched the game and they won. And I said, great warm-up, Verns. And he said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Marc. So he's been doing it about 10 years. But no, it was a perfect storm for us because we had the fire of a cup final. And anyone out there knows when you play someone who's got a bit more hunger and fight, for whatever reason, it's hard, isn't it? Even if you're a better team and a better player, it's hard when your mind's kind of elsewhere a little bit. So I guess we caught them cold and we pressed really hard all over the pitch.
Yeah, a combination of things are happening here. There's a few fringe players. There's a couple of players who are not fully fit.
This guy here's class. Naira and our right back was class as well.
There's players that don't want to get hurt. There's a team that's got more desire than the other team. There's a team, this is their last game for a few months, I presume. So there's a lot of dynamics.
Daniel there with the dreadlocks. He's now, I think he's top scorer at Horsham, maybe in the Ryman League.
Oh wow!
He's really, really flying. Really good guy, but again short of confidence towards the latter stage of this season. Then went to Horsham with Dom and flying. He's scoring. I think he scored a first half hat trick the other week. Right. So really good player. Young lad in goal. Was kind of released from an academy. Serene was one of those lads that was spoke very highly of growing up. Everyone kind of knew him, was expecting big things, but unfortunately as yet hasn't materialised. Walter there, very good player, played professionally at Merston for years with Hayden. So, Fabrizio there at Chatham, not Fabrizio, Fab, was it short for Fabrizio? But Fab now at Chatham Town.
Well, you are keeping track of where these guys are going.
Yeah, I guess so. Like Gus is now at Leatherhead with Hayden. I think Beanie is as well. I believe that's correct. Bobbled in.
I remember this now. So, I mean, that's a lively 5 minutes,
Samuels,
isn't it?
Yeah.
We had a lot go on in that first 5 minutes.
Sorry, my brain's just rebooted and just come with a load of facts here and memory. Sorry, I'll stop talking.
No, it's all good. The Slav kind of behaved as if he thought that was going wide, and I think you could argue he's at fault there. But I love a redemption story on Dorking Uncovered, and Slav definitely gets one in this game. Very talented goalkeeper, and a lovely guy.
Yeah, great. He does do very well in the game, doesn't he? Especially later on. But gave us something to hang on to. Gave Dorking a reason to kind of stretch themselves a little bit, which gave us space to break into. So perfect for us, really, to get that early goal. Yeah. Gave all the boys something to believe in. But we knew we were up against a really good club with really good players and a brilliant manager. So we knew we had to be a 10 out of 10 really across the park, and we probably caught Dorking, at 6s and 7s really, didn't we? With the changes and there's 4 players I think I've counted that have left since then. Foggy, who I really like. Really. He was a very good player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Where did he go then?
I think it was Worthing, but don't hold me to
that.
I think him and Kane Wills have both done really well. One of them definitely went to Worthing.
Old Acres moved on, hasn't he?
DJ went to Chesterfield, and
Full
I know
time.
he had a barnstorming start, and he was really popular. I don't know if it's still going that well for him now.
Was that Ottaway?
Yeah.
He didn't get many games, did he,
Dog.
this season?
No,
Hot dog. Yeah.
He came into his own as the season went on. He used this cup competition
like
was
him,
actually a
though.
big part of his progression.
Was Cheadle here at this
Everyone
point?
likes.
He
Yes,
was,
he
wasn't
is, yeah. Cheadle's not. He was in the starting lineup for Saturday, I think. But Harry was working his way into the team really. Everyone loves Harry. He's such a nice guy.
Water breaks because it was so hot. It's got,
Yeah.
I said to you
Not
earlier,
bad
it's a
then.
real cup final feel, hasn't it? It's a hot day.
Yeah.
There's a few people there watching.
Yeah, I'm in a t-shirt now. I like to wear a hoodie I feel much more comfortable in a hoodie. And when it gets to the summer, I start freaking out because I know I can't wear my hoodies for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, but you wear a grey t-shirt. I'm amazed. Every
sweat
time I
profusely,
see
mate.
you, mate, if I wear grey, it's covered. I can't.
Well, we've got a bunch of amateurs branded t-shirts now, and I've got a grey, white, and a black
I don't know
one.
how
so
you do it. Some colours I
I
stay
don't
clear
sweat
of.
crazily. That's why I get away with it.
I stress sweat.
Only
In a grey, it would be horrendous. Foul? No,
DJ's
didn't
been
give
robbed
it.
there.
Didn't give
I
it.
think that was a foul, but yeah, he's definitely been
There he
robbed
is,
there.
Daniel.
This should have been a goal.
This should have been a goal. Walter, unlucky. Good
The
save.
start of the Slav redemption arc.
Back to
First
Koscielny.
save.
Koscielny was very
There's-
talented.
see,
Good feet.
Foggy gets around
Oh,
the pitch. Oh, well
Did he
played.
give it?
Yeah.
Oh, those ones.
I hate those ones.
That's such a gamble, isn't it? But you always get them.
Yeah, always get them.
Our kit's horrendous here, isn't it, by the way? The
Yes,
yellow
yeah.
with the...
It's
It's
not
two
nice.
different kits, I think.
Second slab save, third slab
Oh,
save. One
pick
of the
that
best
one
saves
out.
that I've ever filmed, I think.
Surrey mirror.
Because he's recovered as well.
Oh, fingertips.
And that is such a good save. I should have done a slow-mo replay of that. Why did I not? I can still make a TikTok out of that. I don't know if I ever did.
Oh, what?
I have to look back on
Where the
this. I
goal
might be
was.
able to make a
There you
redemption
go.
arc TikTok out of this.
Kenny
Another
Beanie
save. Is that
yeah,
five
great
saves
save.
now?
That actually looked hit the wheel, didn't it, of the
Well,
stanch?
maybe it did. I think the goal moved then.
But yeah, Kenny in midfield. Him there, really good player.
DJ's not getting any space, that's for sure.
Kind of one of those tenacious winners you get in there.
Yeah.
It's at half time.
Yeah. So I know that Marc comes in, and I'll ask you in a sec what your team talk was like. Marc comes in and checks Cal and Niall. Those are the two that he was testing for Saturday. Their seasons are over. They're out of the playoff final, so they're really sad. He then, I think he kind of says to the team, I gave you the respect of telling you how I feel about the cup, but I didn't mean don't try. So he gives them a lot of stick here. What was going on in your dressing room?
Well, God, I have to wrap my brains. I think Hayden was obviously, very happy with what had gone on. I believe he gave me some airtime in there as well, which was quite nice. Which it didn't happen too often with Hayden, but and I just probably spoke about their effort and desire and standard things really, that they were winning. They were winning into the dirty stuff. I call it. They were first to the seconds. They were working harder. They were pressing harder. They were hungrier. And we were first in all those departments, perhaps probably being second in the quality they had. It's interesting seeing Marc here because he's a winner as well, and all the joking, he probably thought he'd come out and win this game, be up by half time, and job done. Unfortunately, I don't know if did it go extra time. I can't remember, but it probably ended up being quite a long night for him with a playoff final coming up and definitely penalties, but.
Oh, look how sad Cal is there. Just want to give him a big hug.
I know there's a couple, isn't there? It was Isaac as well injured.
It's Niall McManus and Callum Kennedy. Niall's just like, I don't want to be in here anymore. This is irrelevant to me.
Oh,
now.
you zoned out then, aren't you? You're gone, bless him.
So technically speaking, I've got two GoPros going on here. The one on the right that you can see on the right now is the silver piece of shit that used to fail all the time, but that's before I understood which batteries to plug it into. It's not very good quality, which is why that is shit. We now have 3 identical GoPros in the dressing room, plus my camera, so I get much better coverage now. It's much more consistent. And I just wish I'd had all of this stuff for the playoff final. It would have been a better shoot. Not that it bothers anyone else, it bothers me. But yeah, it's I really want is an extra camera to get reaction shots with, because I'm trying to shoot Marc and get the reaction shots of the players. So that's why I cut to the GoPro, then I get a reaction shot. And, yeah, it's hard, but I'd love to have got like a good close-up of Cal there.
But that's what I was going to say. Why you're good at what you do, Fit, because you're constantly looking to improve, and not just with the equipment, but test yourself, aren't you, and develop your own skills and keep kind of
it's
evolving.
Interesting looking back on these episodes, because it makes me think, oh shit, yeah, I should do that differently, or I've started to do that differently, or whatever. You've got to keep naturally fixing evolved, things. Yeah. I had a boss. I used to have a manager whose name I won't mention.
John
Smith. He's a grade A horrific human being. The only human being in life who I think is a genuinely bad person.
Really?
I feel like I've said this before on a thing.
Call him out.
He, I think he's
put in the comments if you think you know who it is.
I think he's got a black heart that drips of tar.
Right.
You know, I just
What's
Marc, I've got to take that out now, Marc. He used to say this thing about well, I can't even say that because then
all this is coming out, isn't it? This is all getting cut out.
He used to have a saying that referred to,
wow,
you know,
where
like
are we going with this?
Fixing, always improving and avoiding someone else coming in and beating you at your own game by inventing a new thing. So that's one of the things that's always stuck with me, that he used to say. You constantly got to be, what's the word? Not evolving, but also innovating. Constantly be innovating, thinking of the next thing, and that's always stuck with me. So as much as I detest that man's soul, I do appreciate that.
Who will remain
that thing.
Nameless. Is that similar to when I worked at Burger King and they said if there's time to lean, there's time to clean? That was the expression.
Is that what they used to say to you?
Any young workers out there at fast food restaurants, I respect you all. I did a stint at Gatwick Airport, and it was tough. Time to lean, time to clean.
I've never worked in fast. I worked in an Italian restaurant. My first job, I was the washer-upper.
How did that go?
Yeah, it's fine. Like, I used to pray we'd have no customers. So
white vest on, gold chain, towel over your shoulder. Started boxing.
They were good guys. Lalan Turner in Reigate, as it used to be.
Oh yeah, that was a lovely little. We are
stuck in the 80s though.
We're open to free vouchers.
Still serving prawn cocktail for starters.
We should do a shout out to a sponsor. You know, who we got?
Well, FCFootballKit.com sponsoring this one. I don't think they paid particularly
for
the
FC
cup
Football
episodes.
Kit, pay up, will ya? I ain't got all day.
I remember Bobby Joe trying to cheer Niall up there.
Oh bless him, well done, Bobby.
But yeah, I don't think it really landed, because I looked at the GoPros. Those two just sat there for ages. But you know, like what warms my heart is that Niall went absolutely ballistic on the playoff win, and he is the most drunk of anyone there, and he's loving it. So as much as his heart was broken here pre-match, pre-playoff final, he was.
Oh bless him.
He did get to enjoy. I don't remember how much fun Cal had if his heartbreak remained, but I just remember Niall walking around with his little John Lennon sunglasses on, getting smashed.
I spoke to Niall a few times, lovely bloke. I haven't spoke to Callum too much, but that's the thing with these Dorking boys, is that they are all really good lads as well. Most of them, you probably know better than me, but the ones like Nicky I've spoke to, and you know Dan there, they're good lads, aren't they? They want to win football.
There's no one I wouldn't
football games
want to have a chat with. They're all really good guys.
It's mad to think that I'm here, you know, competing against Marc in the other dugout, and then like 3 days later I'm in that shed next to him, you know, going through the range of emotions, and nearly run on the pitch when that goal goes in. You know, that was one of the best, if not the best, live experience of football.
I've managed to sneak in, because I'm not allowed to have you swearing, right? Because you're a teacher.
Do I swear in that one?
In the playoff final,
Rich.
you can hear, but there's no one could possibly prove.
Oh, it's in the crowd noise.
I don't know for sure if it's you or not.
It's probably not me, because I don't swear. But I can't explain that for anyone that was there that day. it was dead. You know, Rich, it was
One of
dead
the
in the
best days.
water.
One
It
of
was
the
dead in
best
the
days.
water.
Yeah.
You know,
I
the
was just
fans
thinking
were
about how we're going
upset.
to deal with this.
I was just thinking, poor Marc, he's got to go again. And then the turnaround was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I got goosebumps talking about it now.
Well, they needed a turnaround here. They're a goal down.
Yeah, sorry.
And it's good
I'm detracting from what we're doing here.
We'll do another one on the playoff final.
Yeah, scrap this. Let's do the playoff final.
This is. Oh, that is a
Oh,
pen.
my.
That is a pen.
Oh, I forgot about this. Do we see a replay?
Oh man, yeah, you will.
What is he
It's
doing?
raining now. I mean, you can't
that's
argue.
so silly. He was a new signing as well.
I think as he's gone to slide, he thinks the ball's there, and then DJ's got in his, whatever it was, David's got in his way.
Yeah, Serene, that's a blatant pen. DJ on the pens, yeah?
Yeah, very good penalty taker, very cool head. Always hit the corner.
Oh, yeah, centre keeper. Again, another headband in football. 67. Oh, we were doing so well, weren't we?
Yeah, he's led for an hour.
So now you're thinking, oh my God, is it the quicksand feeling? 20 minutes to go. Are we going to capitulate?
Yeah, it's all changed. There's summer rain now. It's all pouring down. It's gone dark.
Good turnout. The Kingstonian fans were brilliant as well.
Yeah, they were.
Sung all game.
But yeah, he's made a couple of changes, hasn't he? And it's he's given the players stick at half time. It's changed things up. Kane Wills is on
Kane,
now.
a lot of energy. Very good player.
Harry's
Bobby on
layoff
the right.
work is absolutely insane.
Gonna have to cut back, aren't you, Bob? Surely. Oh,
Oh, how's that stayed out?
is that Nyron? He was a really, really good player. Actually, come up against him this year. I think he was playing for Surrey Wanderers. I'm like the old non-league guy, aren't
You
I?
are.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, Bobby Joe's like this. Whenever Marc asks a question about which players, who plays where, what's that guy's name, Bobby Joe seems to know everything about non-league football. I don't even know how. If I wanted to know that much, I wouldn't even know how I'd go about it. His knowledge and your knowledge of where players are and stuff, I'm just like, blimey, how'd you keep up?
They shift the ball really well there, didn't they? All back foot receiving, two touch, right round, kind of arced round. Yeah, I don't know. I think you just keep an eye on people you work with. Oh,
That's
referee!
That's a hand.
Sam Elter, that is a referee. Arm outstretched.
That's a foul on Foggy there
I
as
forget
well.
about that one.
I didn't replay that handball. Hayden's not happy.
Yeah, that should have been a replay fit.
Should have been. Not often you see Marc in a Macron coat.
One of the players there that's come on, Jason Banton, I believe I'm right in
he's been
saying,
around.
I think he was at Liverpool.
Yeah, he played at high level, didn't he?
I mean, you see him in keep balls and stuff. The talent's unbelievable. But I think Hayden had signed him back just in time, really, for this game. But yeah, super talented as well. So, I mean, there's so many good players now in non-league that are dropping out of the kind of academy system, and obviously there's a lot of fallout, isn't there, from these young lads. And I just guess take a moment to say to all those young lads, keep plugging away, lads. I know what it's like. You're 18, 19, you're being released, but there are pathways back into the game, and there are ways you can work your way back in, especially with social media now and people seeing clips of yourself training and working hard. So keep your heads up, lads. Anyone that's just been released or is just going into the battle of non-league football, because it is a bit of a different world.
Just seeing Wes Fogden's gone off there. That's the end of his season.
There's Teo. Look, great ball. Oh, Walter. Good defending, to be fair.
Is that Nick?
Teo's just come on. As I said, he's at Wharton Hersham now. I think he went out to Poland to play professionally for a bit. Really, really talented player. You'll see him, in any episodes with Wharton Hersham with the free kicks and the dead balls especially.
Yeah, so I think we're straight into penalties, no extra time, right? Marc's doing. So Marc's approach to penalties is he writes the list, he tells who's taking which penalty.
Yeah, I love that.
Tells them, you put it in the corner, don't go down the middle, pick a corner and go for it. And then that way there's less pressure on them.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. The old school of who wants one. I've done that before, and you've seen it in episodes probably because I'm underprepared. You're not thinking it's going to get there, and it's not something you often think about. But I think taking as much responsibility off the kick taker. I do that in school games, to be honest. I say, you're taking it. It's my decision, not yours.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with kids. Here we go then. First up.
Who's that then, Bart?
Fab. That's Fab now at Chatham Town. Played at Woking for years. Very good player.
So I
Wonder
don't
the
blame
left foot.
anyone for having one save. Slav is an incredible penalty kick saver, and I've taken 3 penalties against him in that goal, and he saved all 3, I think. Or I put one wide because I could see him. He was already going. He knows which way you're going to go. He just knows.
Serene's good though in goal. Did he save it? Oh,
Nope.
no, he scored. Always tough. Oldacre scored in the game to step up and take another one in a shootout. But he's gone the right way, Serene. This is Gus. Brilliant player. Workhorse in midfield. Was told, whatever you do, don't dink it down the middle. And I
See, he wanted to go for the rebound.
think he tried to dink it down the middle.
That's one of the worst penalties
Yes.
I've ever seen.
We actually practice
That
penalties
is so
as well.
bad.
Bobby Joe, Wander the left foot.
So Bobby Joe had never missed a penalty, and then I
Oh,
filmed him in the
little
FA Cup, and he
Strange
missed
ball,
one.
wouldn't it? What makes that? Did he score this one?
I think so.
Stutter step. Gone the right way again, though, the
He's a good
keeps.
penalty taker, Bobby Joe.
Yeah, good player.
Yeah, it was against Hayes and Yedding. He put one over the bar in a shootout. And
Marc's got a proper waterproof on there.
yeah, it's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's enjoying himself.
Kenny
You
Beanie.
guys, look how tense everything
I
is over
know,
there.
we're all linked up like it's the World Cup final.
Oh, how'd you
Kenny,
get away with
stop it, Ken. Top bloke. Great penalty. Who's this, Wheeler?
I think Wheeler may have a. I think he has a bit of a nightmare here. I'm not sure.
Oh,
not a
Serene,
good
yeah.
one. Not a
Serene's
good
gone the
one.
right way every penalty, to be fair. Poor Nicky. Gets a lot of stick, doesn't he, Nicky, from Marc when I watch. Gets absolutely...
In the latest episode I'm editing right now, he has to go and get Marc a tea.
Oh, bless him.
You can see him like looking at me thinking, please don't film this.
Here's your man, Teo. He's saying go left there, McShane, I think. And he's so good as well.
You've got to hit a corner with Slav or hope he goes the other way.
What are we at now then? Are we level now?
Yeah, must be.
Both missed one?
Oh no, you've missed 2. You've missed 2.
Oh yeah, we've missed 2. Oh,
Kane.
Put that one out.
Such a reliable guy. Also, Kane is absolutely fucking ripped. He's like the Scottish caretaker in The Simpsons when he takes his shirt off. Like, it's incredible. Oh, that's a good pen. Don't stop then.
Ollie, I think that is.
That's a great pen. Ah, the hot dog. I think he misses this.
The hot dog must be one of the best nicknames in non-league football. It must be up there. Does he miss, bless him?
Yeah, he does. No, it's so bad he wanted him to score. It's
Ollie.
not the worst penalty ever either. That sad look on his face. He's like, fuck, Harry. That's not that bad.
No, it's a good save.
That's a Aldridge, Dave Besson situation there.
Yeah. Exactly that. And here we are. He looks confident, doesn't he, Shaney? Is this to win it or level it? Scores.
He's got some confidence to do that to Slav.
Wow. Sat him down. Oh, wow.
I don't even understand how you do that kind of body shape that's going to confuse Slav like that.
Who's this?
David Radari. Great pen.
Side netting.
Great pen. Really good guy, David.
He wants one, doesn't he? See that, the keeper? He's saying, I want the next penalty.
Oh, really? He's not going to get it.
Oh, Nyron. Is this the last one? What boots is the ref wearing? Blacked out Mondials with yellow. Look how yellow stained they are.
Yeah.
Are they Mondials?
He was alright, this ref. I don't remember having any issues with him. Here we
Nyron.
go. It's got to be the miss because I'm spending so much
Strange
time
run
on
up
the edit.
Nyron, yeah. Oh, you can tell by your edit that he's going to...
Yeah, because I've cranked up the tension. Yeah.
Is that it? Score to
Oh
win.
no, Dan's got a score to win. So yeah, this was a funny one because
Lackluster, wasn't it?
it was such a lackluster thing. Like, he looks happy, but he's not ecstatic, and the players don't come running over, do they?
I know.
They kind of jog over after
What's
he
he do?
puts
Put his
it
foot
in.
through it. Straight run up. All very... Yeah, good pen.
He just looks like a guy who's opened a Christmas present and he's like, yeah, it's not a bad present, thanks.
It's not the one I wanted.
Yeah.
Not the right colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, good team. It was a good time at Kingstonian. Some great lads and, done well to get all the way to the final of that competition. But just a shame we didn't end our season on a high. Vern's packing away his 4 yellow cones. But
Dan Gallagher's desperately trying to make it look like he's excited. Maybe he is. I'm not sure everyone else is.
Is this the one where Marc gets a giant cheque from the FA and he's like, normally you writing them to us? Yeah, fair play. But no, great experience for me and Mike to be part of Kingstonian, and I say the Case fans were brilliant. Just unlucky on the night, really, not to see it through. But well done to Dorking, and it was nice to watch it in a couple of days with you, mate, and that amazing experience that unfolded.
Yeah, I'm glad that whole thing went. The only drawback being the injuries, but everything else kind of went as I needed it to go. Really, penalty shootout was perfect. It was a good precursor to the.
This is a really long episode, isn't it? We said we'd do a short one.
I said I'd take some. Well, we won't do the team talk at the end and the interviews at the end. Hang on a minute.
I needed the toilet about half an hour ago.
Bloody hell, how long have we got left? All right, let's just get to the giant check.
Just cut that into what I just said.
No way, that's staying in box. No, trying to chew himself up a bit. Oh, come on, get the silly check. There we go. Hello.
I think Marc's saying at least look like you're enjoying yourself, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's kind of like.
Yeah. It's so lackluster, isn't it? Like, particularly when you compare it to what they're celebrating in 3 days. 3 days time.
It's a big competition. Surrey.
Well, as Marc says,
Cup.
they never win any cup competition. So, like, this is one of the first cups they've ever won.
Remind me, was Alfie injured at this point?
No, he's rested for Saturday. He plays.
So, how many did he have not there at all? Did he have a few totally not?
Alfie, Jason, they're not there. Ed Harris, I haven't seen Ed Harris. Jordan Cheadle.
Here he is, bless him, the FA official. Look. How much was it? $2 grand.
$2 grand. 2 bags, as Marc put it.
I mean, that's a week of Jason Pryor, isn't it? So.
That guy was a really nice chat. He was one of the bosses. But yeah, interviewed him and didn't do much with it. So there you go. We will end it there because Barks needs the toilet.
Yeah, sorry guys. Thank you. Cheers, Fit. Appreciate it.
Go, bye, quick. Go.